Good afternoon, everybody. Today we will try to learn about the network scanning. The network scanning is an important thing because if you cannot do the network scanning, then you cannot do anything. So you have to do the network scanning. Now, if I think that what is the percentage about the cyber attack in different types of networks and how they do the hacking. In the encryption technique, there are 6% cyber, 6% of investment. This is the investment actually. And regarding the cyber attack, what you need to do in 98% of a small and mid-sized companies are increasing resources devoted to cyber security because you have to invest a lot of money to secure your network, and 50% are increasing their spend and investing in active response, not in infrastructure, and 52% are storing their information privately, not in the public cloud, and 78% say their data and IP are threatened, and 76% say cyber attack threaten serious business interruption. And if we check the investment, the resource investment, most common resource investment for cyber security is monitoring and assessment 18%, and policy sales control 15%, and then something like this access control 6%, encryption 6%, firewall 8%, and so on. So these are the things nowadays where we are investing a lot of money. So now we need to know about the network scanning. So what is network scanning? How we scan the network? So it refers to the set of procedures identifying the host ports and services in the network. So if you do the network scanning, that means you want to identify the host, you need to identify the port, and you need to identify the service of the network. And another thing is that you need to gather the component of the network. You need to gather information, the intelligent component of the network, so that you can attack the target organization. And regarding the network scanning, if we see that the attacker send an IP packet to the network and it gets network information through a response. So what is the main objectives of the network scanning? Main objectives is to discover live host, IP address, and open ports of live host. And then another thing is that to discover the operating system and system architecture. So network scanning, you need to discover the operating system and the system architecture. Also to discover the services running on the host, what type of services are running in the network host. And also we need to discover the vulnerabilities of the live host. So we have a few objectives for the network scanning. What are the objectives? First of all, I need to know the live host, I need to know the IP address, I need to know the ports open. Because if you want to do if you want to attack, then you have to know this type of information. Otherwise, you can do nothing. After that, what you need to do? You need to discover the operating system and system architecture. You need to know which operating systems are working, and as well as the system architecture, and also to discover the services running on host, and as well as to discover the vulnerabilities in live host. And we need to know some TCP flags and where it, this is the packet. Actually, this is the packet, and in this packet, we have the source port, we have the destination port address. This is the source port, this is the destination port, the sequence number, the acknowledgement number, offset address, and reset windows, and TCP checksum, urgent pointer options, and there is a TCP flag. And in this TCP flag, what we have, we are using some sort of flag, some sort of information here. What type of information we use? URG. URG means urgent. URG means urgent, and every packet we have TCP flag, and in this TCP flag we have any one out of 6. URG is urgent, FIN finish, PS is push, RST reset, and SEK acknowledgement, SYN synchronize. And what we can do, and in urgent, this one, and that means if you have this type of flag, you have to process it immediately. You have to process it immediately. And what push means sends all the buffered data into the buffered data immediately. And then finish means there will be no more transmission. Finish means end of your communication, no more transmission. SAK, that means acknowledgement of receipt of special packet, and RST means reset of connection. You have to reset the connection, and synchronization means initiates a connection between host and the sender. So in every packet there will be one of the 6 flags. So what we need to do, we need to get the flags, which flags are using in the TCP in the packet. So what are the communication system? TCP/IP communication system. You need to know the communication system, otherwise you cannot hack the other system. So TCP communication system is the 3-way communication system. And what is the procedure of the communication system is that if Bill and Sheila are 2 person, if Bill and Sheila are 2 person and they want to communicate with each other in 3-way handshaking method, so first Bill will send a request. It will send a request, I would like to talk to you on port number 21. Are you open? So if the Bill will send a request to establish a connection with the Sheila, and Sheila will send a response. Sheila will send a response. Sheila will in that response there will be an acknowledgement that yes, I got your request, and as well as synchronization to establish the connection. Yes, and then she will tell, okay, let's talk, and I am open on port number 21, and as well as she will send a sequence number. And then when the client or the Bill gets this type of response, then Bill will send a request that okay, thanks Sheila, we can start communicating with each other. We can consider Bill as a client or end user and Sheila as the server. So this is the in this way we can establish a communication. And here we are sending one request to the server, and then server is responding to the client that yes, I am ready, and then again client will send a request to the server so that they can start the communication system. So here we need at least three messages, 1 2 3, or at least 3 messages up and down. So for this reason, this is known as three-way handshaking method to establish a communication. And then what is the termination procedure? This is communication or session establishment. What is the session termination procedure? Termination procedure, the client or the end user will send a request to the server that yes, I am done. I am done with the data transfer. Here will send it will send the FIN flag with the packet, and then what the server will do? Server will send the acknowledgement. Okay, I received your termination request, and then I have received all the data sent, and then it will send the FIN request to the server, and the FIS request to the client, and then client will send the acknowledgement, and it will terminate the communication system. So this in this way it will establish the communication, and in this way it will terminate the communication system in TCP/IP communication. So if we want to create a custom packet using TCP flags, so what we can do, we can edit the TCP flags. So Kulasoft Packet Builder, we have a tools name is Kulasoft. Kulasoft Packet Builder enables creating custom network packets to audit network for various attacks. So we can have a tools that Kulasoft Packet Builder, and we can use this one to customize the packet, because we can change the flags. And attackers can also use it to create fragmented packets to bypass firewall and IDS system in the network. So since we can modify the packet, we can customize the packet, the attacker can fragment the packet into several parts, so that the attacker can bypass the firewall and IDS system. And you know, in the firewall, already we told that the firewall it restrict the attacker to restrict, and IDS system it detects the intruder in the network. So both of these two systems you can bypass using this Kulasoft Packet Builders. So first you need to know, if you want to attack a network, so you need to know whether the network is live or not. If you don't know, then you can do nothing, because if the network is not live, then you cannot do anything. So you should know that whether the host network is live or not. So for this reason you can do the ICMP scanning. So ICMP scanning, it involves sending ICMP echo request to a host. It will send a request to the host, and if the host is live, it will send an echo reply. It will send an echo reply, and if it does not, then it will not send an echo reply. And this is useful for locating active devices, because this will also useful to find out whether the device is also active or not, and also determining if the ICMP is passing through a firewall. And also it will responsive whether it is passing through a firewall or not. And so what is the how can you do this? The source will send an ICMP echo request to the destination, and destination will respond to the attacker or source. And what are the tools we can use? We can use Nmap and as well as Genmap. We have the very good tools for this one. One is Nmap and another one is Genmap. So you can use this one. And the next one is ping sweep. So what we can do with the ping sweep? Actually, I can explain this one from the diagram. So the source is sending a ICMP request to the sender, and ICMP echo request, and if it is not open, then it will not send you any request. And you are sending the ICMP request to the second person and you are getting the reply. If you get the reply, that means it is live. It is on live. And again you are sending another one, it is not responding you, so it is not live. And the fourth one is replying, then it is live. So you know what you can do to find to find out the live system. So you have to ping, you have to send the echo request for a variety of IPM numbers. So you have to ping, or you have to send the ICMP echo request to the IP address, and if it is live, it will return the echo reply, and if it is not live, then it will not respond you. So what you can do, since you are giving the IP address, you have the IP address. If you try with the multiple IP, whether it is live or not, from that IP you can calculate the subnet mask, and to identify the number of the host in the subnet. So you can easily find out the number of the host and as well as subnet mask. So and then attacker can find out how many hosts are, or how many systems are live in that network. So attacker can do this using Nmap, and you have to find out how many systems are live and how many systems are not. And what are the ping sweep tools? On the ping sweep tools, we have a ping sweep tools. Angry IP scanner is one of the ping sweep tools, and another one is SolarWinds Engineer. So what is the Angry IP scanner? Angry IP scanner is IP address to check whether it is live, and then optionally resolve the host name. So it will determine the MAC address and as well as scan ports. The Angry IP scanner, it will depend. It will find whether the host is alive or not, as well as it will return the MAC address, and also it will return the port. And then SolarWinds Engineer toolsets, ping sweep enables scanning a range of IP address to identify which IP addresses are used. It will identify which range of IP address or which IP address are in use and which are currently free. And also it performs the reverse DNS lookup. It will look up the DNS server as well. So these are the two tools of the ping sweep for ping sweep, and we have few other tools for ping sweep. So Colasoft and Oputils, and then ping info view, the ping key. No, you have this type of tools. We have lot of tools in the system. Now SSDP scanning. What is SSDP? SSDP means Simple Service Discovery Protocol. It is a network protocol and works in conjunction with UPnP to detect the plug and play devices available in the network. If there is any systems in the network, and that will those are plug and play. Just if you put it will be active immediately. So if there is any device automatic plug and play, and you need to find out, so you can find out using this type of scanning. So vulnerabilities in UPnP may allow attackers to launch some buffer overflow and denial of service attacks. So if there is a vulnerability in SSDP, so what you can do, you can do buffer overflow, and as well as you can use the DOS attack, and as well as attacker can use UPnP SSDP mSearch information discovery tools to check if the machine is vulnerable to UPnP exploits or not. So using this information discovery tools, you can check whether the machines has a vulnerability and you can exploit it or not. So you have a tools. Just if you can run the tools, you can do whatever you can. For this reason, nothing in the network is 100% secure. So already there are lots of tools available in the market. So using those tools, everybody can do whatever they can. So now for the IP address, you need to find now you need to find out the IP address. For the IP address, you have two types of versions. One is IPv4 and another one is IPv6. So what is the IPv4? The IP protocol version 4, and another one is version 6. So in version 4, you have only 32-bit address space. Only 32-bit address space, and these are the limited number of address, and you have multiple classes over there. So you have limited users and limited address. So but in IPv6, you have 32 to 128 bits of IP address. So you have variable length, and as well as lots of since in the addresses lots of bits are there, so you can put a single IP for every person in all over the world. For this reason, IPv6 has been introduced. So how can you scan the IPv6 network? So um, we to scan this one, like a traditional network scanning technique will be computationally less feasible, because in traditional network scanning you have only 32 bits, and in this one you have 32 bits to 128 bits. So it may not be feasible due to large number of search space. So what you can do, you have to use a different option, and it is more difficult and complex than IPv4. So and another things, some tools do not support ping swift on IPv6 network. So this is the another thing. So one is lots of bits are there, lots of address search space is here. Another one is the IPv6. Some IPv6 tools, they do not support the ping swift system. So then attacker need to harvest addresses, IPv6 addresses from network traffic, and recorded logs and received from and other header lines in an archived email and Usenet news message. So what you can do to get the IPv6 addresses, and you have to find it from the network traffic. You have to find it from the network traffic, or you have to find it from recorded logs, or you have to find from a receipt form, and as well as header lines from the archived email. So you have to find it, uh, because if you want to search it, like previous one, it was in previous one here, we have used 32-bit address, and in this 32-bit address, what we know that this here limited number of IP address, so we can check with this. But in IPv6, if we want to check like that, so we need lots of time to get this on, and we don't know how many number of bits over in the IP addresses, and how many hosts you need to check, so it will take some time. So what you need to do, you need to get it from the network traffic, or you need to get it recorded logs or received from another header lines in archives email. So scanning IPv6 network offers a large number of hosts in a subnet, and in an attacker can compromise one host in the subnet. Attacker can probe that all hosts link in a local multicast addresses. And the scanning tool Nmap. So the network administrator can use Nmap for network inventory, managing tools, the managing service upgrade schedules, and as well as monitoring host or service uptime. An attacker uses Nmap to extract information such as live host on the network, and services and types of packet filters or oblique firewalls, and operating systems and operating system versions. So using Nmap tools, so what you can get the live host on the network, the services, that means what type of applications are running, and also type of filters they are using firewall or not, and on what type of operating system they are using, and the versions of the operating system. These are the preliminary information you need to collect from the network. So ASPING2 and ASPING3, these are the command line network scanning, and packet crafting tool for TCP/IP protocol. These are the command line network scanning, and it can be used for network security editing, firewall testing, manual path MTO discovery, advanced traceroute, remote operating system fingerprint, remote uptime gauging, TCP/IP stack auditing, etc. So ASPING2 and ASPING3, these are the network scanning and packet crafting tool for TCP/IP protocols. And the ASPING commands, we have the some ASPING commands where we can use for different purpose. These are the commands we can use. And now scanning techniques. How can we scan the TCP/IP connection networks, TCP/IP protocols? So we have the two types of network scanning method. One is scanning UDP network services, Another one is TCP network services. And in the TCP network services, just 1 minute, I am taking 1 minute break, please. First, now the one is scanning TCP network services, and another one is scanning UDP network services. So what for UDP network service, just what we can do, we can do UDP scanning. And the problem is with the TCP network services. Now, for the TCP network services, we need to open the TCP scanning method. That means TCP connect or full open scan, and then still TCP scanning method. And in this one, we can half open scan or inverse TCP flag scanning or acknowledgement probe scanning. And then third party and spoof TCP scanning methods in this one ideally, and oblique TCP IT header scanning. And in the inverse TCP flag scanning, we have a Christmas scan, we have finish scan, we have null scan. This type of scan we can do for TCP and as well as UDP. And now, what is the TCP connect and full open scan? The TCP connect scan detects detects when a port is open by completing three-way handshaking. You are doing the three-way handshaking, and if your port is open, whether your port is open or not, it will find out that one. And TCP connects can establish a full connection, and it tears it down by sending a reset packet, and it will establish a full connection, and it will finish the connection, or it will close the connection by sending the reset packet. And it does not require super user privilege, and it does not need the super user privilege. So how can we find out whether the port is open or not? The attacker will send synchronized packet plus port number to the target, and target will send the acknowledgement, yes, I will send the packet. And then again the attacker will send the acknowledgement, yes, I got it, and then it will send the reset flag to disconnect this. So if the attacker get the response from the target, then the attacker can understand that the port is open, and if it is open, it is closed, and then it will just send the reset acknowledgement, then the port is closed. So attacker can find whether the port is open or not in this way. If the port is open, then attacker will get the acknowledgement. If the port is not open, then attacker will not get the acknowledgement. So first we need to find the whether the port is open or not. And then half open scan. In the half open scan, what we can do, we can it will restarting or resetting the connection using three-way handshaking signal between the client and server, and then attacker use still scanning techniques to bypass firewall rules, and as well as login mechanism, and hide themselves as usual in the network traffic. So in still scanning process, this is called half open scan. You are scanning the network, and as well as you are in this way you will bypass the firewall rules, and you have to do it, and as well as you have to bypass the login mechanism, and you have to hide yourself from the usual traffic. So what is the still scan process? In this scan process, first the attacker will send a synchronized packet to the server, and then if the port is open, then the server will send synchronized plus acknowledgement to the attacker, and then attacker will send reset packet. Then the remote port is closed. The attacker will send the reset packet to the server so that it can close. If the port is closed, then when the attacker will send the synchronized to the port number, and then it will send the reply with the reset flag, so that the attacker can understand that the port is not open. And then inverse TCP flag scanning. What is the inverse TCP flag scanning? The inverse TCP flag scanning, that means in before what we used that if we get the synchronize and acknowledgement packet, then it seems the port is open, and if the port is closed, then it will just send the reset packet or no packet. So this is just reverse in the sense, if it is open, it will not send any packet to the port or no response, and if it is not open, then it will send a send a reset or acknowledgement packet. Here, if the port is open, when the attacker will send a finish, urgent, push or null packet to the server will not respond anything. That means in this case, attacker will know that the the host port is open. If the port is closed, then when the attacker will send the finish, urgent, push and null flag to the server, it will send the reset and acknowledgement to the attacker if the port is open. Closed. So since we are using the reverse of the previous one, for this reason it is called the inverse TCP flag scanning. And Christmas scan, how can we do the Christmas scan? In the Christmas scan, the attacker send a TCP frame to a remote device with finish, urgent and post flag. The finish scan works only with operating system based on TCP/IP implementation, and it will not work against any current version of Microsoft Windows. It will not work for any current version of Microsoft Windows. So in this type of Christmas scan, if you send the finish, urgent and post flag to the server, and it will not respond anything. If the port is open, it will not respond anything, and if it is closed, then it will respond with the reset flag. This is similar to the inverse of the TCP/IP flag scanning. So acknowledgement flag probe scanning, and this is attacker sent a TCP probe packets with acknowledgement flag to set a remote device, and then analyze the header information of received reset packets to find whether the port is open or not. So what it can do, it will send an acknowledgement packet. It will send, the attacker will send the acknowledgement packet to the victim or to the target, and if based on the response, it can show that, or the attacker can know that whether the port is open or not. We can use this type of scanning process just to know the whether the port is open or not. What the attacker can do, the attacker will send the acknowledgement packet to the target, and if the target will send the reset responses to the attacker. And this is the TTL based acknowledgement, and this is the Windows based acknowledgement. And in the TTL acknowledgement, you see the when the port is open, it will send you the different value. That means the port is open, and in the Windows as well, it will send the win equal to different value. So you will know that this one is open. So in the TTL value, the RST packet on particular port less than the boundary value of 64, then the if the boundary value is less than 64, then the port is open. And here, if the win value is non-zero, that means the port is open. So if it is greater than 64, then that means it is closed. And if here is in the Windows system, if the win value is 0, that means the port is closed. So acknowledgement flag probe scanning. So we can also check the filtering system of the target, whether they have used the firewall or not, whether they are using any filtering system or not. the acknowledgement packet with random sequence number. The acknowledgement packet with random sequence number, no response means the port is in filter, that means firewall is present, and RST response means the port is not in the filter. So you have to know whether they are using filtering technique or not. That means whether they are using any IDS system or any firewall system in the network or not. You have to know this one. If firewall is present, and if the attacker send an acknowledgement, and if you don't get any response, that means firewall is present. And if you get the reset flag, and that means if you get the response, that means no firewall is there. So in this way you can know that whether there is a firewall or not. And ideally header scan, in the ideally header scan first, most network servers listen on the TCP ports, such as web server on port 80 and mail server on port 25. Port is considered often if the application is listening on the port. So first of all, you have to find out whether the server is listening or not through the port number 80 or port number 25. And then once the port is open, then you can send a synchronized packet to the port. So you can send a synchronized packet. So target machine will send back synchronize and acknowledgement packet if the port is open, and reset packet if the port is closed. And then the machine will receive the unsolicited synchronized and acknowledgement packets, will respond with the reset, and an unsolicited reset will be ignored. And then every IP packet on the internet has a fragmented identification number, IP-ID number. So operating system increments the IP-ID number for each packet sends, thus probing an IP-ID gives an attacker the number of the packets sent since last probe. So in every packet there is a IP-ID number. So based on the IP-ID number, the attacker can know how many packets were transferred and since started the communication. And for the ideally scan, the step one is send a synchronized acknowledgement packet to the for example to the server, here attacker, and here zombie is the server and attacker is the attacker. And the machine to probe its IP-ID number. So first send the synchronized and acknowledgement packet to the server, and with the response you will get the IP-ID number. And then every IP packet on the internet has a fragment IP-ID number, which is increases every time a host sends IP packet. So in every packet from the source and as well as host, and it will increase the number. For example, here last 2 digits is 37. And so later we will know that it will increase in every time. And the server is not expecting the synchronized and acknowledgement packet will send reset packet and disclosing the IP-ID. So the attacker will not send the IP-ID number because the server is sending the IP-ID number, and analyze the reset packet from the server machine to extract the IP-ID number. And step 2, in the step 1 you are getting the IP-ID number, and in the step 2 what you are trying to get in the step 2, the target machine the send synchronized packet, the target machine to the target machine port number 8 is spoofing the IP address of the server. So you can now you need to find the IP address. If the port is open, the target will send synchronize an acknowledgement packet um, to the zombie and in response to the zombie, and and also zombie will send the reset to the target. If the port is closed, the target will send reset button to the zombie. If the port is closed, then it will the target will send the reset button to the zombie, but zombie will not send anything back. So what is trying to do? Attacker send a spoofing IP address to zombie through target, and zombie is getting the synchronizement and acknowledgement, and then the zombie is sending the reset packet with the IP ID. Here previously it was 37, now it is 38, and is step 3, probe zombie IP ID again. So attacker will send IP ID synchronize plus acknowledgement packet to zombie, and zombie will send the IP ID. This is 39. So the IP ID incremented by 2 since from the first step. So if the port 80 is open in the 3 step ideally scanning, the IP ID number will increase by 2. You have to remember this one. And now UDP scanning. So how can we do UDP scanning? UDP, you are on port number 29. So in UDP scanning, and there is no three-way TCP handshaking process for UDP scanning. The system does not respond with the message when the port is open. If the port is open, the system will not respond anything. And if the UDP port is closed, then it will send a message. The system will send a message with ICMP port unreachable message. And what we can do, we can use spywares and Trojan horses and other malicious application uses UDP ports. We can, if the attackers can use the spyware and Trojan horses and other malicious applications through UDP ports. Because and so in this system, how you can do, the attacker will send a message to the server, are you open on UDP port 29? If it is open, it will not send any response. If it is not open, if the port is closed, and ICMP port unreachable message is received. And we can test anything with the Nmap, so don't worry about it. We can do anything with this one. And then ICMP scanning or list scan. So ICMP scanning, that means echo scanning. This is not really a port scanning. The ICMP does not have any port abstraction. So what we can do, we can ping the host when using the pinging system. We can know whether the host network is up or not. And list scanning, using the list scanning, this type of scan generates and print the list of all IPs names without actually pinging them. Using the list scan, we will know the all the IP address and the name without pinging the IP address, and as well as a reverse DNS resolution is carried out to identify the host name. So using list scan, we can identify the DNS reverse host name as well. So scanning tools, we can use the NetScan Tools Pro. We can use the NetScan Tools Pro. The Network Tools Pro assist in troubleshooting, diagnosing, monitoring and discovering devices on the network. So if you use the NetScan Tools Pro, what you can do, you can find out the troubleshooting, you can diagnose the network, sorry, and as well as you can monitor and discover the devices on the network. It will also list the IPv4 and IPv6 addresses, host name, domain name, email address, and URLs automatically or with manual tools. So it will give you lots of information. This NetScan Tools Pro, it will give you not a lot of information. What type of information it will give? It will give you troubleshooting, diagnosing, monitoring this, and what type of devices are using. It will list all the IP address, IPv4 and IPv6, and as well as it will give you host name, it will give you domain names, it will give you email address and URLs automatically. So you will get lots of information using this one. We have this type of scanning tools. And SuperScan net tools. So we have scanning tools for mobile as well. Unit network scanner, FING, IP network scanner. We have mobile scanner as well, and we have these are the mobile scanner. So these are the port scanning method. I will request Mr. Monirujjaman to show you some network scanning techniques using NMAP.
Thank you, sir. So now I'll show you how to do scanning using Nmap and some other tools. First of all, you need to know how to do scan, and let me show you. So the first step is if we want to scan www or suppose google.com. So our first step is to know the IP address, or we can do without IP address, but if you want to know the IP address of Google, how we can do that? Simply open your terminal from this. Looks, we are getting response from this IP. That's mean this server is 23202, and this is the IP address of google.com. So this is how you can get. Also, you can use another tools. Get from these tools, you can get lots of information. So port forwarding tester, IP address tester, and some other testing tools. So I am sharing this to you. I will share this, and you will get from the message. Okay, I will send it to you, and from here you can simply get IP address, your IP address, or you can get information for other IP address. Then I will show you how to scan using Nmap. So first of all, what is Nmap and what is Genmap? So both are same, but Nmap is a command line tools and Genmap is the GUI version of Nmap. So go to nmap.org. Here you can see documentation, and if you want to install, if you are using if you are using Mac, you can simply install it using brew install nmap. This command will simply install nmap. But if you are using any other Linux based system, you can simply install it using install sudo apt get install nmap. So this will install nmap on your machine, or if you are using Windows, you can simply download it from here and you can step by step you install nmap. So while installing nmap, genmap will be installed automatically. This is GUI version, and if you want to do good in ethical hacking, I prefer using terminal. So I think I know you should try, you can simply get it. So, and we already have installed nmap, and if you want to, I will share this website to you. From here you can see some documentation. So if you want to scan a single IP, how we can do that? Simply nmap, then this IP address, your IP address. So if we put this, so scan is start. So this is the simple scan, and there are some other things. If you want to scan any with name, so www your host name then .com, and if you want to scan from 1 to 20, simply you can use this using range. And then if you scan a subnet, that means if you want to get the list of connected network, that means all connected IP address with me, so you can use. So first of all, you need to know this IP address. So simply you can get it from if config. So here you will get, so this is this IP address, and then you can use /24, then it will scan all subnet of your connected network. Then here you will see a list of available command. Simply you can just install it and using nmap you can do lots of type of scanning. So I'll show you another tools. This means is 3. So as like nmap, this is also simple tools. Just download these tools, and from these tools you can simply, we have provided you some slide and some um, basic command. You can simply, after installing this, simply put this on your terminal, and I think it will work. So that's all for scanning, and now we'll go to our theory class. Can we do some question answer?
No, no. Thanks a lot. So I can do some question and answer now. Mr. Rajiv, what are the difference between two-way handshaking and three-way handshaking? So I have already told you that three-way. Mr. Rajiv, what is the differences between two-way handshaking and three-way handshaking? In the three-way handshaking, I have already told you that the user will send a request to the server. The server will then send an acknowledgement to the server, user, and then user will finally send an acknowledgement and finally establish the connection with the server. This is the three-way handshaking. And two-way handshaking is that when user will send a request to the server, then if the server is ready, server will just send an acknowledgement to the user and it will establish the connection. The server will not waiting for the acknowledgement from the user. These are the difference between two-way handshaking and three-way handshaking. So no more question now. Now I'm going to the theory again. So how can you countermeasure the port scanning? So we know that we can use the port scanning using different techniques. So if you are the ethical hacker, you need to know how can you countermeasure, or how can you save your organization from the port scanning technique. So what are the technique? How can you countermeasure the port scanning? Number one, you have to configure firewall and IDS rules to detect and block the probes. So you have to configure the firewall, and also you have to set up the IDS rule in such a way that you can detect the port scanning techniques, and as well as you can block the port scanning probes. And then run the port scanning tools. You have to also run the port scanning tools again host on the network to determine whether the firewall properly detect the port scanning activity or not. And then ensure the mechanism used for routing and filtering at the routers and firewalls respectively cannot bypass using particular source port or source routing methods. And then ensure that the router IDS and firewall firmware are updated to their latest release. And then use custom rule set to lock down the network and block unwanted ports at the firewall. And then filter all ICMP messages at the firewalls and the routers. And then perform TCP and UDP scanning along with the ICMP probes against your organization's IP address space to check the network configuration and its available ports. And lastly, ensure that all the anti-scanning and anti-spoofing rules are configured. So in this way, you can countermeasure your port scanning. So ideas, evasion technique. So what we can do here, we can use fragmented IP packets. So we can use the fragmented IP packets in this technique, and as well as spoof your IP address when launching the attack and sniff responses from the server. And then use source routing if possible, and then connect to the proxy or compromise Trojan machines to launch attacks. And synchronize and finish scanning using IP fragmentation. So what we can do, it is not a scanning method, but it is the modification of the earlier one. So what we can do, the TCP header, we have the TCP header, it will split into several packets so that the packets filter are not able to detect what packets intended to do. So what we can do in the IP fragmentation technique, we'll split the TCP header into several parts, and then we can send these packets, and so that you can bypass the firewall or IDS. So how you can do in this way, we can use the synchronization and as well as finish small IP fragment plus port number, and if the port is closed, it will send the reset, otherwise it will not send the it will not send any response to the attacker. So this is the synchronization and finishing scanning using IPR. Now the major thing is the banner grabbing. What first of all you need to know the what is banner grabbing. Banner grabbing, actually you are collecting information, the stored information. You can check, you will scan the system, and you will find some important information on the system, and this is called the banner grabbing. That means in a specific place there are some information stored. Sorry for that. And there are some information stored, and using banner grabbing you are just collecting those information. So in the banner grabbing, it is another, you can tell is operating system footprinting as well. You can tell is the footprinting, because in the operating system, in some places, it can store some information. You just watch like a banner, and you are trying to grab it, or you are trying to make the footprint of the operating system. It is the method to determine the operating system running on the remote target system. So in the banner grabbing, actually it will try to determine the operating system running on the target. And two types of banner grabbing, one is active, another one is passive. And it will also identify the what type of operating system is used on the target, and as well as it will allow the attacker to figure out the vulnerabilities on the system, possesses and exploit that might work on the system to further carry out additional attacks. So what is active banner grabbing? And active banner grabbing, it's specially crafted packets are sent to the remote operating system and responses are noted. So you are sending the packets and you are getting some information and you are noting down these are the responses are then compared with the database and to determine the operating system. You are trying to you will compare the responses with the database so that you can determine the operating system. And because the response from different operating system varies due to different TCP/IP stack implementation. What is the passive banner grabbing? Passive banner grabbing is the error message. And using such type of error message, what you can do, you can get the type of server, type of operating system, and SSH tools used by the target remote system. And also you can sniff the network traffic, capture and analyze the packets from the target, enable an attacker to determine operating system used by the remote system. And as well as banner grabbing for page extensions, you can determine the version of the application using the page extension. So what are the banner grabbing tools? The banner grabbing tools, we have IDServe. IDServe is used to identify the make, model, and the version of any website's server software. So we can use the IDServe and it will find the make, model, and also version. It will also identify the non-HTTP internet servers as well, FTP, SMTP, POP, and NAS. And another one is Netcraft. The Netcraft reports site's operating system, web server, and as well as NetBlock owner, together with, if available, for a graphical view of the time. So these two type of tools we can use for banner grabbing. Now we have another banner grabbing tools, Netcat, and another one is Telnet. Netcat, this utility reads and writes the data across network connection using TCP/IP protocol. And another one is Telnet. Telnet technique from the HTTP servers to determine the server field in the HTTP response header. So these are the actually used for, these tools are used for banner grabbing tools. So what are the countermeasures for banner grabbing? changing the banner. What are the countermeasure? First of all, display false banner to misguide the attackers. You can display the false banner so that the attacker does not know the actual one. You can mislead the or misguide the attacker. And another one, and then turn off unnecessary service on the network host to limit the information disclosure. You can run you can run the application or you can run the services whatever you need. Otherwise, please stop all the services already I have mentioned before. And then use server mask. Use server mask tools to disable or change banner information. You can use server mask to change the banner information, and as well as you can use Apache 2x with the mod headers module. Use a directive in httpd conf file to change banner information. Alternatively, change the server signature line to server signature of in httpd conf file. In this way, we can countermeasure the banner grabbing system. And banner grabbing countermeasures hiding file extensions from the web pages. So you can hide them extensions, because if you can hide the file extension, you can also countermeasure the banner grab. The file extension reveal information about the underlying server technology that an attacker can utilize and launch attacks. So file extension from the file extension, you can have the server technology. What type of technology you are getting? Because here we have HTML, we have CSS, we have docs, we have TXT. So from this, the attacker can easily know what type technology you are using. So hide file extension to mask the web technology. So if you can hide this one, then you can hide the mask. You can hide the web technology to the attacker. And change application mapping such as .asp with HTML or for etc to disguise the identity of the server. So you can also change the application mapping. And then Apache user can use mod negotiation directives. Apache user also can use this one. IIS users use tools such as page exchangers to manage the file extension. So you can also use this one. It is even better if the file extensions are not at all used. So it is better if you cannot, or if you do not use the file extensions. So now the vulnerability scanning. So what is the vulnerability scanning? The vulnerability is the network vulnerability. Here vulnerability scanning means network vulnerability. And first of all, the port is open, and as well as the open, where you will find the network vulnerabilities in the open ports and as well as in the running service. You will find the vulnerabilities is there. Vulnerability scanning identifies vulnerabilities and as well as weakness of a system and network in order to determine how system can be exploited. So it will give you the vulnerability and as well as weakness of the system and as well as network, so that an attacker can exploit it. And it will also give you vulnerability about application and services, and it will also give you the application and service configuration errors. All of these combinedly known as network vulnerabilities. So in a network vulnerabilities, you will get port vulnerabilities, whether port is open or closed, also running services, whether extra services are running or not, and then you will get vulnerabilities from application and services. You will also find vulnerabilities of configuration error. So lots of vulnerabilities you can get in the network vulnerabilities. So vulnerability scanning tools, it is a Nessus, name is Nessus. You can use this one, vulnerability scanning tool. Then these tools are very easy to use. Just if you put the website here, easily you can find the vulnerabilities. It will give you the vulnerabilities. And the Nessus is the vulnerability and configuration assessment product. What are the features of this one? The features of this one, it is agentless auditing. It is agentless auditing, compliance check, and content audits, customized reporting, high-speed vulnerability discovery, in-depth assessment, and mobile device audits, patch management integration, and scan policy design and execution. So these are the features of the Nessus vulnerability scanning tools. Another one vulnerability scanning tool is GFI Landguard. So GFI Landguard, this is the asset inventory. It will assist you to find out asset inventory, change management, risk analysis, and provide compliance. And this the feature of the GFI Landguard is the selectively creates custom vulnerability check, identifies security vulnerabilities, and takes remedial action, and create different types of scans and vulnerability tests, and helps ensure third-party security applications offer optimum protection, performs network, device, and vulnerability checks. And this is the Qualys free scan, another vulnerability scanning, Qualys free scan. So we have few network vulnerability scanner. So one is Retina scans, and we have Saint, Nexpose. These are we have some network vulnerability scanner, and this is for mobile. Now what we can do, we can show you the IDS scanner. We can show you the IDS scanner. What we can show the IDS scanner, ID serve, and just ID serve, and what else? Okay, Mr. Monir will show you.
Thank you, sir. So this is ID serve. We use it for banner grabbing, and you can simply download ID serve from internet. And after here is the download link. You can see this from slide, and after downloading it, just install it. And this is Windows based application, and I have installed this, and let me show you. And here is the exe file. So after installing, just open it. So this is ID serve. You can see this is ID serve, and you can simply put the URL here. And suppose if you want to scan www.example.com and click on create the server. So there are some information. So from this information, we can check some the version, server version, and some other information here. So this is banner grabbing. We can use these tools for grabbing banner and some information. And then another tools we showed you, and I am showing Nessus scanning tool. This is here is Nessus. So let me show you. I also you can download it from tenable.com. I have put this on a slide. You can simply go to this web page, and you need a user account to access this. Just create an user account. After that, you will get a download link, and you will get license in your email. Simply install this, and show it. It will automatically install on incorporator, and you need to access this using your browser. So from browser, it will automatically install and open. You can looks, this is the service is running on 8834 ports, and you need to log in. So I have already created one account and simply log in with this account, and you can see this is the first screen. After installing and login, you will see this. And after this, if you want to start any scan, what you will do, you need to click on new scan. Here are a list of available scan. You need to update for using all of those, but in free version you can use some other scan. For example, we will show you how to do an advanced scan. So our basic network scan, host discovery, some other scanning tools are here. So I will show you how to do a advanced scan. From this looks, just give a name if you want to do test, and here you will have to put your description about the scan. So after this, in target you will have to put your IP address. You can put multiple IP address or a range of IP address, or you can put a domain name here. So if we want to scan www.example or test.com, how we will do? Just write test.com, then save. So you see this is already here, and if you want to start the scan, you need to launch. Click on this, and scan is already running. And from this menu, simply click, and this scanning is running. It will automatically give you a report, and here you will get a list of vulnerabilities. So when this scan will finish, you will get a list here, and you can fix all of these bugs step by step. So I think that's all. You can use it. Simply download, install, and try it. That's all.
Thanks a lot. So we can answer some question now. Question and answers. Mr. Mac. So Mr. Mac. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam. What it is? Mr. Mac missing class. Please contact with admin. Please contact with admin, Mr. Mac. Mr. Rakesh Singh Kunwar, hello sir, kindly tell any other tool like Nessus, because Nessus requires credentials of website server and ownership. I have already mentioned a lot of tools here. You can use any one of them. Mr. Shiba, what about recovering ransomware affected files? So you have to do the encryption techniques. So we can try in other class how can we recover the affected class, or if we can, we'll try, but I don't know whether I can cope up with the time or not. So no more questions. No more questions. So yeah, we have a lot of tools here. Okay, now drawing the network diagram. So we have the vulnerabilities. So now we need to draw the network diagram so that you can know how many users are there, how many devices are there, what type of devices they are using, what are the network diagrams. So if you have the network diagram, then it is easy to attack you. And it is very difficult to get the network diagram for others, but still we have some tools. We have some tools which will give you the network diagrams and will show you the logical and physical path to a potential target. Because you are targeting either web server or email server or anything else, you have to know the path to the target. If you can know the path to the target, then it will be easy for you to attack the target. So for this reason, you need a network diagram and its architecture. For example, this is a network diagram here: intranet, DMZ, and intranet. So if you can know the network, then easily network diagram, then easily you can attack this. For example, database server is here. So if you want to attack from this user one target, then you have to go a long way to the database server. So if you know the network diagram, then you can find how can you attack the database server. Otherwise, if you don't have it, you cannot attack the database server, because you don't know where is the database server is. So for this reason, you need a approximate diagram, and you need to calculate, or you need to find out how can you go to the attack server or victim server or victim target. So network discovery tools, there is a network topology mapper. So you don't need to do anything. There is a network topology mapper, and it will discover the network, and it will produce a comprehensive network diagram, and it will give you the VCO uh, network diagram in a VCO file. So automatically you will get it. What are the features of network topology mapper? It will discover the network topology and mapping, export the network diagrams into VCO, and then network mapping for regularity compliance, multi-level network discovery, and auto detect changes to network topology. And another tool, network discovery tools, one is Op Manager and another one is Network View. What is Op Manager do? Op Manager is a network monitoring software that offers advanced fault and performance management functionality across critical IT resources such as routers, WAN links, switches, firewalls, etc. And Network View, it will discover the network, and this is a network discovery and management tools for Windows. It will discover TCP/IP nodes and routes, and using DNS, SNMP ports, something like this, and it will give you like this diagram. And we have network discovery and mapping tools. Lots of network discovery and mapping tools are here, so you can use any one of it. Network discovery tools for mobile, you can use a lot of them. These are things. Now proxy servers. So this is one interesting thing. So how can you use the proxy server, or why the attackers need to use the proxy server? A proxy server is an application that can serve as an intermediary for connecting with other computers. Yeah, it is not the actual server. This is a proxy. Proxy is a substitute of the real one. It is not the real one. It is the substitution of the real one, and you will get all the information of the real server. So to hide the source IP address so that they can hack without any legal corner. So if you use the proxy server, what you can do, you can attack the target without hiding your source IP. So you have to hide yourself so that you can avoid the legal actions against you. So to mask the actual source of the attack by impersonating a fake source of address of the proxy. So you can also change your real information by fake information. So proxy servers tools will give you this type of facilities so that nobody can catch you. And also to remotely access the internet, you can remotely access, and as well as other website resources that are normally off limits, and it will interrupt all the requests sent by the users and transmit them to a third destination. Hence the victim will only be able to identify the proxy server addresses. So the victim will only know the proxy server addresses, but they will not identify it. The attacker chain multiple proxy servers to avoid detection. So what the attackers do, attacker will use multiple proxy servers so that they can you can avoid yourself for detection. So these are the reasons the attacker use. The main reason is to hide yourself. You have to use the proxy servers to hide yourself so that you can avoid any legal action against you. So proxy chaining, yes, we have to use the proxy chaining. The proxy chaining is used from user to destination. You will use user request resource from destination. The proxy client at the user system connect to a proxy server and passes request to another proxy server. And in this way, one proxy server to another proxy server, another proxy server to another proxy server, it will build a chain, and with this chain you can connect to the web server. At the end, unencrypted request is passed to the web server. So this is the attacker. Attacker is using one proxy server, and it is using another proxy server. It is using another proxy server, another proxy server, another proxy server, so that you are using here lot of proxy servers to get access to the web server. So in the web server, you have only this type of the IP. In the web server, you have only this IP. So web server will know this IP. Maybe since this is a proxy server, maybe it is in other places. So if for example, user is living in Bangladesh and the web server is in also Bangladesh, so what you can do, you can make a proxy server in different countries so that the web server, the victim cannot know that from where you have target you have attacked. Now proxy tools, the proxy tool is a proxy switcher. This is a very good tool, and this is an excellent tools to hide yourself, because if you use this one, you can hide yourself. For example, you are using the proxy server of United Kingdom, and then United Republic of I think Tanzania. So you can use and then another proxy server is United States. So what you are doing, you are for example, you are hacking from Bangladesh, you are using one proxy server from United Kingdom and another proxy server from another country, and then the other one you are using from United States. If the last one is from United States, so when the attacker will, when the target will try to find out from where the attack happened, then the victim will see that the attacker attacked from United States. Maybe originally the attacker and the victim in the same country. So the proxy switcher is a very good tool to hide yourself. And another one proxy tools is on proxy workbench. So you can use this one as well. And the workbench, it is a proxy server that displays data passing through it in a real time. It will pass through the real time, allows you to drill into the particular TCP/IP connection, view their history, and save the data to a file. You can save the data. So workbench, it will save the data as well, and as well as it will view the socket connection diagram. And another proxy tool is CyberGhost. So CyberGhost and Tor allows you to protect your privacy and defend yourself against the network surveillance and traffic analysis. What is the CyberGhost do? CyberGhost allows you to protect your online privacy. It will protect your privacy and it will serve you as anonymous user, and it will access blocked and censored content. It will access the blocked or censored content, so it hide your IP and replace it with one of your choice. So you can put the anonymous IP, so allowing you to serve anonymously. So you can change your IP and you can change your identity so that everybody will know that you are using anonymous information. So nobody, if you use the CyberGhost, nobody can identify you actually. These are the proxy tools you can use as a Burp Suite, Proxy, Fiddler. So we have some proxy tools here. Proxy tools for mobile. We have proxy tools for mobile and free proxy servers. We have some free proxy servers as well. So you can use the free proxy servers. You can find it in Google, that free proxy servers. So introduction to anonymizer. What is anonymizer? Anonymizer is the nobody will identify you actually. Nobody will identify you, and as well as you can if you want to get access to the target, if you want to get access to the target, in the target maybe there is one sort of username and password, and you are just bypassing the control system, access control system. You are bypassing the firewall, you are bypassing the IDS system, so that for this reason you are known as anonymizer. So why we use anonymizer? This is for privacy and anonymity, and then protect from online attacks. So if you can hide yourself, so nobody can attack you. So you should use anonymizer to hide yourself, to hide your system from the internet, from the online. So what are the tools? Tools is the tails. You can use this one. So what we can do now, we can go for the question and answers. We can go for the question and answers.